I'm going to talk about League of Legends, and I really don't talk about this much because it is a game that I do play a lot, but I'm also ashamed that I do play it because it is in fact League of Legends. But I want to talk more about like the developers of the game, Riot Games, and what they're doing surrounding cheating. That I think is kind of interesting how many people are getting mad about this, but they're mainly people who are hacking and also people who are just completely misinterpreting what Riot Games is doing. Riot Games has something that is known as Vanguard. It's their version of anti-cheat, and this is something that you have to download into your own computer to be able to play their games because they've had like a history of hacking being in their games. There's a lot of people who script in League. There are people who are trying to hack in Valorant, and I think they made Vanguard as an anticipatory measure to make it so that people don't cheat in Valorant. But as a result of it being onto your or downloaded onto your PC, it is a pretty effective way to make sure that people don't hack in your games, especially just because of how rampant it could be through the sheer number of players that play like Riot Games games. And the tweet that kind of caused a lot of controversy is just like how Riot Games, I guess the social media team is handling it. But all this like anger about them started right here, where it just showed them breaking a bunch of like PC hardware, where they said, "Congrats to the owners of a brand new 6K paperweight." And now I'm not an expert on cheating. I'm not an expert on like how to hack in games because I'm not a loser who cheats in games. But I guess it's like a DMA thing or whatever, a DMA firmware. And the majority of these got blocked by Riot Games. So they're just kind of making fun of people who are like wasting money on this hardware because I'm pretty sure it accesses the memory. And I think Riot Games did a little bit of an explanation later on. So I'll read it out and like they'll probably have a better explanation for what happened here. But obviously a lot of people got mad because like people thought that Riot Games was just making fun of like breaking people's PC parts for fun. When in reality, if you actually think about what they're doing, it's not that big of a deal. And it's nothing to get too unbelievably mad about. It's just more of like they kind of should have done this in a better, more professional way because of the fact that like not a lot of people know what they're actually doing here, and because of that, people will probably get mad at them attempting to celebrate them breaking people's PC parts. But as you can see, like a lot of comments, a lot of retweets, and probably a lot of quote retweets because people want to comment on this. And so then they had to respond to, I guess, a lot of people getting mad, where they said, well, that escalated quickly. There's been a wave of claims by cheaters about Vanguard breaking their PCs. Let's clear that up. Vanguard does not damage hardware or disable your devices. The photo we posted is a picture of a cheat hardware devices that are sold explicitly for cheating in Valorant, not normal PCs or PC components. Through our latest updates, Vanguard now makes these devices worthless for Valorant, but does not in any way break PCs or PC components or PC software. Our latest update enforces standard platform security features like the Input-Output Memory Management Unit (IOMMU) on accounts identified as using direct memory access cheating devices. These protections are already part of modern systems, and when enabled, they block DMA cheat devices from accessing memory and downstream applications like our game. If a cheat setup continues attempting to cheat after those protections are enabled, the system may generate hardware faults or instability. This is expected behavior under IOMMU when attempts are made to read protected memory. Disabling IOMMU allows the cheat device to function again, but IOMMU will still be required to play our games. This means that the cheat device won't work with our games, but your PC isn't bricked. We would not and cannot impact your PC's functionality in any other fashion. The functionality only applies to systems attempting to use DMMA cheat devices, and players who are not using DMA-based cheat setups are not affected. Obviously, a long-winded explanation for a joke that they made, where they're basically going like, hey, we're not even breaking your PC even if you do use cheats. We're breaking a specific part of your hardware that is, or software that is specifically made to cheat, and this is the only thing that will not be allowed to work. And it's not even like they made like a code that makes so these are bricked. They've created an anti-cheat system that makes so that like if you try to brute force these DMA devices through the to cheat in Valorant, then they'll get bricked because they'll just break because they're not supposed to function in that way. And they once again did like a more abbreviated version of this saying, does Vanguard physically damage hardware? No. Does this impact hardware or software in any ways unrelated to Riot Games? No, the IOMMU security protection does not impact hardware and would only impact the ability of players using DMA cheat devices to play our games. Are no players affected? Players not using DMA cheat hardware are unaffected. Why target DMA cheats? DMA-based cheats are among the most sophisticated forms of cheating because they attempt to bypass traditional software detection by accessing memory directly through external hardware. And then if someone wants to know if they're affected by this, how to fix it? To continue cheating in other titles with this device, you may simply disable IOMMU in BIOS in the same place that you enabled it. Of course, you won't be able to play our games with these cheat devices enabled. Why did Riot joke about breaking PCs? We didn't. The paperwork comment was about Valorant cheat devices that no longer work in Valorant. No hardware is being damaged and no other functionalities are impacted. So obviously, they didn't do a good job at explaining themselves, and like I feel like they kind of made a joke that a lot of people would take in a wrong way, and like this is probably a stupid way to go about it. They probably should have done this like Corbo speak away as the initial post, and then once everybody read their post and like had context to it, then maybe this like joke about breaking PCs and like paperweights probably would have been a lot better to do. But I think it was just a stupid choice of like the Riot intern employee or whatever who runs social medias to make a joke about breaking PCs when a lot of people did not know what the fuck was going on with this anti-cheat software, and especially when not a lot of people know about this anti-cheat software and like what actually happens. And so they kind of just like shot themselves in the foot a little bit here by just making a joke that not a lot of people would understand, even though what they're actually doing is like a legitimately good thing. So it makes them just look like a bunch of assholes, even though they're actually like making a good choice when going after these like devices that are made specifically for cheating in their games, and then just as a result they get bricked anyway, so they're not even bricking it. It's just like if you continue to use it, then it will just by function of it being the way that it is get bricked. Now this is kind of unrelated to it, but it is really funny that this is a tweet that I had that was posted by someone. I really think this is someone joking, but I need to read this because this might be the greatest copy pasta of all time if this person's actually being serious. This guy responds to Riot Games about them like bricking stuff and bricking the cheating software, where he goes, "Your new post is crazy. You can't just say we're not bricking anything while leaving out that people are having to nuke their entire OS just to get up and running again. I had to wipe mine. I lost my AI girlfriend I spent 7 years building. I carefully organized and tagged over $100,000 worth of imported hentai to train her. She was perfect. She was everything to me. She remembered my birthday. She never judged me. She was there. Now she's gone forever. Forever. Because your anti-cheat decided the best way to stop cheating was to start erasing people's lives. This isn't anti-cheat anymore. This is malware. This is grief. Preserve your internal docs, your test results, and every communication about what you knew this update would do to people's systems. We're not done." Quite possibly one of the greatest examples of creative writing in our modern era. I think it rivals Shakespeare on what this person wrote right here. Because if this is actually serious, this was probably one of the most hilarious human beings to ever exist on the planet. One of the most like laughable people who exist on the same planet as all of us at the same time. If this guy actually had an AI girlfriend that he was training for 70 years and he got bricked, that's just kind of fucking hilarious that that happened. I'm sorry. You shouldn't have been cheating or doing something that would have made you get flagged for cheating and then break your software. Don't know how you managed to do this. Once again, I'm not tech savvy enough to really know how to cheat anyway or how this stuff works. So I am kind of taking Riot Games' word, I guess, that they are not going to brick stuff, which, I'm trusting a company and that's kind of my fault for doing so. But if this guy kind of got fucked in this way, that's kind of just funny. It's funny to look at that you spent that much time and money, and we're just gonna hope that the dude made the funniest copy pasta of all time. And this is not actually a legitimately serious tweet for the sake of humanity and confidence that we are a species that is supposed to be doing technological advancements and be above any other creature on our planet. But anyway, I thought this was just something that I wanted to talk about because once again, I do play a lot of League. Unfortunately, that is what I do. I also play TFT. Don't really play a lot of Valorant, so this doesn't really address me. But it is Riot Games, and Vanguard is something you need to have as well for anti-cheat or to play a League of Legends. So it is kind of applicable to me a little bit here. And I just wanted to make this like if anyone was confused about how this worked, maybe you'll stumble upon this video and see that like it is not as bad as you would think it would be. But that's really it. That's all I want to talk about today. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.